Hi, I'm Ollie Mitchell and this is the second in a series of tutorials on Figure 53's QLab. In this video, I'll be running through the basics of using audio with QLab. Before we start, we just need to make sure that our settings are correct. Click on the cog in the bottom right hand corner and then go to the Audio tab. By default, Audio Patch 1 should be set to your built-in output. This means that any sound you play will come out of your computer's speakers, or if you plug an audio cable into your computer's audio jack, it will play from there. This is the best setting unless you have an external sound card. If you do have a sound card, then it should be available in the drop-down menu. For now, I'll leave it set to built-in output. Don't worry about the rest of the page for now. Once you've made sure that your audio is going to come out of the right place, you can click Done. So, to add an audio cue, click and drag the audio element from the toolbox into your cue list. You will notice a red X has appeared on the left-hand side of the cue. This means that there's something wrong with this cue. If you hover over it, it will tell you that there's an invalid audio file, or in this case, there isn't an audio file at all. QLab accepts almost any audio file format, but here's a list of their suggestions in order of preference. Click on the arrow in the target column and this will open up a file browser. You can now find your audio file, click Open, and this will load it into the cue list. See that the red X has now disappeared. If you want to rename the cue, just double click on the name, type a new name, and hit Enter. Now that your audio file has loaded, you can play the cue by making sure that it's highlighted and then clicking on the Go button or spacebar. Note that there is a timer here showing how much time has elapsed since you push play. And again, there is another one here in the active cue list. If you click on the arrow here, it will change it to show you the time remaining. And again here, we'll do the same thing. It can be useful to see how much time is left on a track if you need to do something as soon as it finishes, maybe a lighting cue for example. If you want to stop the cue from playing, hit Escape. This activates something called Panic Mode. This will fade out all active cues in a given time. The default is 1 second. Let's add another audio cue. Click and drag the audio element from the toolbox into the cue list. Again, note the red cross telling us that there is no audio file. This time, instead of clicking the target, we're going to find our file in the Finder. Now drag it straight into the cue list and on top of the audio cue we just created. You will see that the track has now loaded into the queue. Finally, let's add one more cue. Go to the Finder, select the track that you want, and this time drag it into the empty space at the bottom of your cue list. You can see that this creates an audio cue for you. This is the quickest way to add audio cues to your cue list. So, playing multiple cues at once is just as simple as playing one. Click on the first cue and hit the Go button or the spacebar. When you're ready to play the next cue, just hit Go again. And again. To stop everything, go into panic mode by hitting Escape. And it's really that simple. Now let's say that you wanted to make the music a little quieter. Maybe it's underscore in a scene and it's slightly too loud to hear the speech on stage. Click on the cue. Then in the inspector, go to the Device and Levels tab. In here, you have a master fader, and then 1 and 2, which act as left and right if you have a stereo track. So you can either control the individual levels for left and right by moving these faders, or more commonly, you can change the overall level by moving the master. So let's turn it down a bit. Now, if we play the track again, you'll hear that the music is much quieter. This also means that the sound effects will be heard more clearly over the music. That brings us to the end of our basic audio in QLab tutorial. I suggest that you now have a play with audio files in QLab to try out everything that you've learnt. Then when you're ready, come back and try the next tutorial. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you again soon.